You are watching The Book Club. Every Wednesday, we handpick the best books to improve your life. 15 classic books everyone should read in their lifetime, Part 2. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing out. Good day, Aluxers, and welcome to another video made for you by our team here at alux.com. Today we're continuing the list with another 15 classic books everyone should read in their lifetime. If you're here, you probably loved the first part of this series, so obviously you deserve a sequel with more epic novels. The thing you have to keep in mind when reading these novels is they were written in different eras by different authors who lived in different societies bound to different circumstances. So if any book doesn't resonate with your way of seeing things, just observe it and maybe absorb a lesson or two from it. With all this said, let's dive into the 15 classic books everyone should read in their lifetime, Part 2. Number 1. Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. We'll start this list off with Hugo's beautiful tale of injustice, heroism, and love during the French Revolution. Les Miserables follows the fortunes of several characters who each are driven to destinies by the despondent French society of that era. The main themes of this classic capture both the intellect and the emotions of the reader. Crime and punishment, relentless persecution, desperation, and the universal desire to escape the prisons of our own minds. This incredible novel will definitely enchant you with every page that you move forward. You literally can't put the book down until you find out what's happening next. And if you'd like to purchase it, you can do so by clicking the link in the description or by heading to alux.com/freebook and signing up. If it's your first time, you can get the audiobook version for free thanks to our partnership with Audible. Number 2. The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. This secret garden centers around an orphan, Mary Lennox, who's taken into the care of a rich uncle she's never met and lives on the other side of the planet. This wonderful tale contains a perfect amount of mystery, spirituality, and charming characters that'll kindle your imagination in many ways, and dare I say will keep you turning its pages faster than you realize. A fine classic you can read as a break from any heavy reading like business books or biographies. Truth, compassion, and a belief in the goodness of man lie at the heart of Burnett's unforgettable classic. Number 3. The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton. It's incredible how many novels focus on a love story that's either unable to come true or finally fulfilled after many grueling struggles, and this one is no different. Set just about 100 years ago in the Golden Age of New York, when society was afraid more of scandals than diseases, The Age of Innocence presents a struggle of a young aristocratic lawyer between love and duty. He's trapped in a love triangle which becomes increasingly more difficult to solve when adding the pressures of family, society, and his own sense of honor. Wharton's memorable portrayals of the upper-class New Yorkers were something to marvel at, and frankly, no reader will be disappointed by picking up this book. Number 4. Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. Here we have an absolute winner which is critically acclaimed to be one of the best novels ever written. Set in a vast and vivid canvas of 19th century Russia, Anna Karenina has no shortage of emotional moments from love all the way to despair. When the protagonist rejects her own passionless marriage, all the hypocrisy of society clash with every aspect of her life. All the main characters in this complex masterpiece create a dynamic imbalance on all levels: destiny, death, relationships, and the difficult contradictions of human existence. Number 5. Anne of Green Gables by Lucy Maud Montgomery. If you pay attention, Anne of Green Gables will give you some wonderful lessons on life, love, growing up, and probably the most important of all, when the world disappoints you, just compensate with your imagination. Armed with boundless imagination, Anne charms her way into the hearts of everyone, including all who read Montgomery's book series. Number 6. The Giver by Lois Lowry. This book sets the scene in a dystopian future where the sheltered community has everything they need, but everyone here sees the world in shades of gray, except a single 12-year-old boy. In this seemingly perfect world of conformity, everyone is manufactured to be the same. No fear, pain, or any other emotions, except for the giver, who holds all the memories of the truth, thus creating a shallow and fragile community where even a ripple can make it all fall apart. Lowry attempts to answer some questions that most of us ask ourselves at one point in our life. Can there be a future with no violence, discord, or war? What happens if we are all the same? Can you enjoy the good without the bad? And most important of all, do the ends justify the means? Number 7. 1984 by George Orwell. Speaking of dystopian worlds, let's move on to another famous classic that takes the reader into Orwell's grim vision of a totalitarian, bureaucratic world and one average guy's attempt to find individuality. The author's ghastly approach to the relationship between individuals and institutions can help you understand yourself a little better, your limits, and your attitude towards certain scenarios. Also, 1984 is a fascinating example that presents things in a light which everything that makes us who we are, our characters, our personalities, strengths and weaknesses, even our free will, are all completely shaped by circumstance. Number 8. Lord of the Flies by William Golding. Lord of the Flies presents a stark story that is testing the depths of human nature and what happens when societal rules are thrown out the window. When a group of boys find themselves stranded on an island, they first celebrate their freedom from adults and responsibilities, but as the days go by, reality sets in. The central conflict here is the raging competition between the impulse to live by the rules, act peacefully, and value the good of everyone, against the instinct to surrendering to one's own desires, to act violently, and to enforce one's will on others. Number 9. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. This best-selling phenomenon follows the mystical story of a young shepherd boy who decided early in life to pursue his dream of finding a worldly treasure. On his journey, he learns many timeless lessons that are incredibly valuable for anyone who understands them. We believe the book is so valuable, we're going to give it away for free as an audiobook. Just go to alux.com/freebook and sign up. The great folks at Audible made this deal possible for our community, so go enjoy it. Number 10. The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. An enduring story set in the mid-20th century Germany when the Nazis were taking over the world by storm. Stricken with grief in a cruel world, the central figure of Zusak's story finds that with the help of books, she can escape her reality, thus leading her to want to read more, which leads her to stealing books whenever she can. What's fascinating about The Book Thief is that readers are learning the story through the eyes of an omnipotent being who's both supernatural and spiritual. Through this Insight of Death by the Lady with the Scythe, we learn that death is inevitable and we're all on its schedule. And Aluxers, all this talk about death led us to thinking about the things that most people regret when they reach old age. And if you'd like to get some insights on what those regrets are, you might want to check out 15 Lessons People Learn Too Late in Life by clicking in the top right corner. Number 11. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Wuthering Heights is probably one of the most soul-stirring and tormenting love stories ever written. This disturbing masterpiece describes the life of Heathcliff, a troubled orphan, and his ill-fated love for a woman who betrays him. Seething with bitter vengeance mixed with passion, their encounter will haunt several generations after their passing. Number 12. Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Drawing upon his own experiences, the author writes about Raskolnikov, a desperate young man who plans the perfect murder of an old woman who he sees as reprehensible. Tormented by his own nihilism, he somehow convinced himself he was above the law and that humanitarian ends justify despicable means. The alienation the main character suffers from is kind of a mirror image of some people in our society today. An individual who somehow thinks a circumstantial trait they have makes them superior to others, goes off on a rampage, committing what they see as justice. Crime and Punishment is a deep psychological study that there's no possible way to even scratch the surface of this novel in 2 paragraphs, so I guess you'll have to go read it yourself. Number 13. Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. You know we couldn't miss out adding the fastest-selling novel of the century. Quite an unforgettable tale of love and loss during a time in which traditions, ways of life, patterns of thinking, and kindness are gone within a fleeting moment. We can really not do justice to this immortal story that will forever live in the hearts of all who read it. It's not the world's overwhelmingly favorite novel for nothing. Number 14. Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. Two plots are carefully interwoven which follow the lives of two strikingly different sisters who move into a new home where they experience love, romance, and heartbreak. The essence of Sense and Sensibility is the necessity of finding a common ground between passion and reason. Number 15. The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. Hosseini wrote a memorable novel about the unlikely friendship between two boys, one of wealthy descent and the other born of servitude, caught in this tragic backdrop of history. If you go ahead and read this book, you'll notice how betrayal, which is considered a sin, is long-lasting and ends up being cyclical in nature. And Aluxers, that's a wrap on the list. We hope you enjoyed it and maybe added a few of these books to your own reading list. And if you were to recommend any of these books mentioned to a friend, which one would you choose and why? Let us know in the comments. Now, Aluxers, for sticking with us this long, I think we owe you a bonus, don't you? Here it is. Number 16. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. Both of these books share with the reader the exploits of a spirited young girl who ventures into a whimsical world where anything seems possible and nothing seems real. First came The Adventures in Wonderland, then Through the Looking Glass, and both are part of Alice Lindell identity and process of maturation. In Alice in Wonderland, the author helps the reader understand the struggle of what it's like for a child to live in a confusing world of adults. While in Alice Through the Looking Glass, Carroll shows Alice's bewilderment at understanding the rules of the grown-up world. And Aluxers, don't forget we have links to every book in the description. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy, or head over to alux.com for the best in fine living content on the planet. Be a part of the largest community of luxury enthusiasts in the world and tell your story.